All right, so with the 2021-2022 season wrapped up in the NBA, with the Golden State Warriors holding up that trophy, questions were asked. Because honestly, I've never seen a player whose resume has been questioned, a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame player resume be as questioned as one as Kevin Durant. Let's look at it, man. Just his time alone with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was a 4-time scoring champ, 1-time NBA MVP, a 1-time All-Star MVP, NBA Rookie of the Year, all NBA All Rookie First Team. He's a 6-time All NBA Team Player, 7-time NBA All-Star and that was just as the Oklahoma City Thunder player. Then he went on to average 25.8 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists in 208 games with the Warriors, which accumulated in which was his first 2 and only 2 championships. And he was a 2-time finals MVP with the Golden State. Not even arguably the best player on the team. He was the best player on the Golden State team. But that was the problem. He was the best player on one of the best teams that was the best in the league before he even got there, who had also won championships. So then many fans were saying, come on, KD, this is a cop-out. Why are you going to a team that put you out when you were with OKC a season before? Okay, they won. The Golden State Warriors won a ring without Kevin Durant, proving that they did not need him on the team. But when he joined the team, they just became a super elite team. Now, I'm not gonna lie, for the basketball purists out there, it was beautiful basketball. The movement was incredible, shooting from all over the court. There was just nothing you could do to stop it. Steph, Clay, Kevin Durant running wild on the field with Draymond with his mouth wide open, breathing all heavy, just passing the ball around, moving a rock with such beauty. It was a masterpiece. And then he won his 2 championship rings. He won his 2 MVP finals appearances. And then he was out. Deuces. I'm gonna go try to do my own thing. And people were like, well, you need to go win with a team that needs you and not you needing them. And that was the situation, man. So he moves to Brooklyn, goes with his friend Kyrie, which I love Kyrie, the ball player Kyrie. I don't know him personally as a human being. He looks like, he's down for the people. He wants to be the people's champ outside of playing basketball. And I respect that, but you cannot take away what Kyrie does on the court. And so I'm just imagining what those two are going to do together. And it just doesn't turn out how I want to. And I think many fans and many basketball lovers just was thinking, oh man, Kyrie and KD is going to be, it's going to be beautiful. And what a letdown those last 3 years were. I mean, you had some magical moments in between, but overall, just a letdown. And honestly, I felt bad for KD in year 2 because year 2, Giannis wins a ring, but boy, KD went toe to toe with Giannis in the Bucks. And it was basically KD. Because Kyrie was with him, but then Kyrie twisted his ankle, landing awkwardly on Giannis, twisting his foot and not being able to play. James Harden was coming off injuries, but it was mainly just KD. And I do believe that at least a healthy Kyrie, not even a healthy James Harden, but a healthy Kyrie throughout their playoffs, I think the Brooklyn Nets that year would have won a ring. Instead, we know what happened. Time tells us that Giannis won the ring and the Bucks. Then you move on to the next year, and it's and here's the thing about it, right? It's weird to say, but Kevin Durant is easily going to be a Hall of Fame first round ballot. Like as soon as he's done dribbling the basketball, when the time is ready for him, and he has enough time period, however that goes, he's going to be easily voted into the Hall of Fame. But people always question the 2 rings that he's won with Golden State. And I do believe if he does not win another, people question Kevin Durant's rings like they question the Lakers bubble ring. Crazy, I know. But again, I just don't get it with KD, man. Again, so they tear up a team that was doing well, because D'Angelo Russell and Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, those guys, Jarrett Allen, they were doing great with the Brooklyn Nets. They were on the rise. And so KD and Kyrie saw the way that the Brooklyn Nets organization was trending upwards and said, hey, let's be a part of it. They dismantled it to fit their needs. Got a new coach with Steve Nash, and it just did not work out. And so I think the Brooklyn organization was very just disturbed and very upset with how the whole Kyrie situation played out with the COVID season. And it's not that Kyrie didn't want to play. He just didn't want to take the vaccine. But once it was the mandate was released and uplifted, Kyrie played ball. And Kyrie was one of the most efficient scorers. And you can tell he was just ready to get after it. And they did as best as they could under short amount of time playing with each other. Right. But it just did not come out to fruition. And again, boy, Boston was a monster this year. And I don't think that Boston's not going to be a monster, or they're not going to not be Boston for some time, because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're only getting better with Marcus Smart. Now they've added Malcolm Brogdon. So it's going to be interesting to see what this Boston team does. But again, Kevin Durant, where is he going? Right. And looking at it, Kevin Durant, when he initially asked for the trade, he said that his 2 top tier teams that he wanted to go to, and then people, I'm sure, just threw their hands up in disgust, being like, typical KD, here we go, he's back. He picks the number 1 team in the West and the number 1 team in the East from the following season, meaning he wanted to go to the Suns and he wanted to go to the Heat. Now, when he said he wanted to declare for this trade, he didn't want to disrupt the team, which I don't understand how you're going to do that. But he said, insane, he doesn't want those teams to lose certain players with the addition of him, because obviously he doesn't want to go to a team where he ends up breaking the team down and he has to do more than what's anticipated. Being a 30-plus-year-old player, as you know, he's trying to get as much as he can out of his body and the time left being in the NBA, respectfully. But he wanted to come to the Miami Heat without giving up Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler. Bro, you're Kevin Durant. And if we looked at anything, the mind-blowing trade that was Minnesota and the Jazz for Rudy Gobert, giving up that amount of talent, then, you know, Brooklyn's easily like, whoa, we got one of the top 3 players in the league right now. We about to just take the whole team. And so now teams are reluctant to trade for Kevin Durant because they're like, we're not about to give up what the Jazz just gave up. I mean, what Minnesota just gave up for Rudy Gobert. And that's Rudy Gobert. That's not Kevin Durant. So these trade packages are about to get crazy. But, you know, who knows? And now reports are saying that Golden State might be in talks of trying to get Kevin Durant back. But let me tell you something. I am hard pressed, and I would be surprised if in a trade package Draymond Green is anywhere in there. I think Draymond Green is going to retire a Golden State Warrior. I could be wrong, but I think Draymond, Steph, and Clay have earned the respect of Warrior Nation and of the front office, that those 3 are solid. And honestly enough, I mean, yes, they did lose Otto Porter. Yes, they did lose Gary Payton II, but you still got Jordan Poole, who did great. Can't wait to see what Kuminga's going to do. So honestly, how much do you want to trade? And let me just look at what possible trade packages could be out there just to get Kevin Durant. So people are saying, you know, they might, you know, put in a package of Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman. The big question mark out there for James Wiseman, but honestly, Andrew Wiggins kind of helped win you this last championship because he came into his own. So do you really? Yes. Let's not get into it. Kevin Durant is a much better player than Andrew Wiggins, by no means. But again, the chemistry. One day, Kevin Durant will not be playing basketball. And I would dare to say that these players I just mentioned, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman, will still be playing basketball past the years of what, you know, Kevin Durant will be, because he's getting older. That's just Father Time catches up with us all, right? But and I think Golden State Warriors are a very smart organization. So they had Kevin Durant once, and they got what they needed out of him. They got 2 championships. Could they, you know, give up some future picks and stuff? Yes, they can give up some future picks and possibly, if I had to, you know, if looking at it, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman, I would be reluctant to get rid of Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. But if I had to sweeten the deal, yes, I would gladly get rid of Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman, and some future picks to have Kevin Durant. I want to hold on to Andrew Wiggins. I think Andrew Wiggins brings a certain level of defense and grittiness that the just goes great with the Warriors basketball, especially with Draymond being on the court and stuff like that, because you got the finesse and the shooting with Steph and Clay, and you can make up for the scoring, especially if you lose. You're gonna have to give up Jordan Poole, obviously. So, but you get scoring back with Kevin Durant. So I would be interested into that. But how does that play out in the narrative of one Kevin Durant? Just asking a question, because again, he goes to a team, he joins the Warriors when they beat him. He joins them, wins 2 rings, 2 MVPs. He leaves, he loses, in essence. I'm just giving you a brief scenario. And then he goes back to them. And if he wins a ring with them again, it's like, who cares at that point, right? It's like you didn't win one on your own. That's not your team. Because believe it or not, even though Kevin Durant was the best basketball player on the Golden State Warriors, when he played with Golden State Warriors, that was not his team. That was Steph Curry's team. And it will be Steph Curry's team until Stephen Curry decides he no longer wants to play basketball. And it's just fair. So I think the narrative is Kevin Durant needs to win with a team that's not his team. And I wouldn't be honestly mad if he went to the Suns or the Heat, because guess what? Both of those teams, while they have made it to the finals in recent years, both teams, they didn't win the championship. So that means they're a player away from, winning it all, and they need that one player. So if Kevin Durant went to one of those teams, I don't think it would be the same type. Yes, again, if you're a fan, you're dumb if you think he's going to go to a rebuilding team where there's nothing but rookies on it. Come on, he's not trying to do all that work and bring up a new team. That's unrealistic. But for him to go to a top tier team that could use his services, that is a player away, they didn't just recently win a championship without him. I can see that. So seeing the Suns, seeing the Heat, I could definitely see that. I don't think it would go too great for Kevin Durant's narrative if he went back to the Warriors. I'm just saying. So we will see. Where would you like to see Kevin Durant? What do you think about his legacy? Do you think, even with all those accolades, it's just not enough for the overall eye test? It's great for the Hall of Fame, but for those basketball players out there that are like, he didn't win it on his own, quote unquote, What does that mean? What does that mean to you when you see Kevin Durant in whatever uniform that you see him in next year? Will it be okay with that? Will you be okay? And, if he does go back to the Warriors and they win it all, how will you feel about that? Thoughts and questions. I want to hear from you. Until next time, holla at your boy. Peace.